Sorry, ma'am.
Can they hear our chat right now? We have not
Yes,
allowed
ma'am.
the
Yeah, yes,
participants yet.
they are in. They can hear, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Because there is certain few disturbance going on outside my house. Some renovation on the part of lift part is going on.
Okay. So do you need to change your room or something? As all great events must come to an end, so too does the remarkable journey of S-Chance CPD sessions for the year 2024-25. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day 6, the final day of our pedagogy based sessions. Let's wrap up this incredible year with a day full of learning, inspiration, and exciting prizes. We hope you have found these sessions insightful and packed with practical strategies to elevate your teaching practices. To close on a high note, today's focus is on an essential topic: empathy in action, creating a supportive and emotionally intelligent classroom. Let's make this day a memorable one as we equip ourselves to build more empathetic and impactful learning environments. It's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's first session, Dr. Sneh Bansal. Dr. Bansal is the former principal of Chandigarh College of Education, Punjab, and a visionary leader with 15 years of impactful teaching experience, holding an MA in Psychology and Economics, an MEd, UGC NEET certification, and a PhD. She is also a two-time National Award recipient from NCERT. In addition, she serves as a resource person for CBSE and Chandigarh's Department of Education, focusing on in service training programs. We are truly honored to have her with us today. Educators, just a quick reminder, right after our finale session today, we have an exciting quiz lined up for you. It's your chance to win Amazon vouchers worth up to rupees 25,000. So stay tuned and get ready to show off your brilliance. But before we begin, let's go through some housekeeping rules. Participants will be muted throughout the entire session. Please ensure you have a pen and paper to note important information. The chat box will only be enabled during the Q&A round and as required by the speaker. To receive your e-certificate, please fill out the feedback form that will be sent to your registered email ID after the session. To all participants who haven't received their old certificates yet, don't worry, you'll get them by next week. And yes, participate in the quiz today after the final session. Now let's welcome Dr. Sneh Bansal. The stage is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Tanishka, for the warm welcome. And it's really a chilly afternoon, though it's a full with sun. But I'm sure like you all will be gear up for the session because this particular session takes you to the journey of how we can really create a supportive environment for our classroom by developing the empathy and the interpersonal skills among our students. So just allow me to share my screen. I'm sure like my screen is visible. Okay. Is my screen visible to all of you? I'm sure it
Yes,
must
ma'am.
be. Okay. So let's begin with this session. The particular session, as Tanishka has said, it is on basically creating a supportive and emotional, intelligent classroom. So I think that's something is a very psycho issue.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Comes to youth are the one who are facing lots of such problem where they have to go with lots of psychological issues. But as a teacher, our role is very important. How we can really create an environment that can support the students with respect to developing their mental health and let them a very, inclusive society. And for that inclusive society, I think if you look upon the empathy, that is one of the major quality which everybody need to have. So before I begin with this session, I just want all of you, I'm sharing one link with all of you in the chat box, and I want all of you to just click that link, because the link will take you to the another window. And then I want all of you to just reply few of the questions. Just hold on. I think this is the another link coming up. Just hold on. I just need to share my screen. Okay. Okay. So I want all of you to, I've shared a one link with you in the chat box. I want all of you to open that link. That's take you to the window of Meet Plus. That's a Meet Plus link, and you could also see that on my screen itself. I want all of you to please click that link, and that link will take you to another window. So because I could see a huge number of participants, around 198 participants, which is really a huge number. But at the same time, I need to understand your background also. So let's see how many of you are from the teaching background, from the special educators headquarter. So right now I could see only 10 participants have joined. I request other participants also to join, please, because I could see a huge number. It's around 190, which is, of course, I could see 200 participants, but very less have joined with this. So I give you 1 minute for this. You all just click to the Meet Plus. And once you go to the Meet Plus, you will land up to this page where this question will come up. So I want to know your background. For what, are you a teacher? Are you a head? Are you a special educators? Or if I talk about others, that means maybe you are a parent or you are from the higher education. Yes, I want all of you to please join this link, Meet Plus. And once you complete this question, there is another question. What do you understand by empathy? Because that's something we will going to talk about today. And when we talk about empathy, what all you people understand by it? Yes, the word empathy. What do you understand by this? Yes, you just need to write down your topics. You just need the write down answer. So let's see others. Okay. What about others? Yes. I could see only 25 participants have joined this. What about others? I request others also to please join this link, because it will help me to understand your
The link is
background. Like,
the
are
link
you
is
from the
ma'am.
teaching professions, or
Ma'am.
your profile?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, please.
Yeah, ma'am, actually, the link is not allowing anybody else to join. It is showing the meeting does
Okay,
not
okay, okay.
accept more
Because okay,
participants.
it may be because restricting the participants. So what you can do is you can write down your response in the chat box as well, because I could see the chat box. Maybe the limit, because it's a free platform I'm using right now, and it may restrict the number of participants to enter. So what you all can do, the one who able to join it can give me the response on the Meet Plus, otherwise rest. Okay, so what I could see, like maximum are the teachers only. And when it comes to the second question, that is empathy. What do you understand by this empathy? So I could see the one who have joined, it is about emotions, it is about feelings, it is about understanding others, it is about taking care of the needs, and about putting others into the shoe, okay, yourself into another shoe. You need to understand other situation, able to understand other person's feeling. Yes, that's empathy. Yes. What else? To put ourselves into other shoes. Okay, Dr. Prayag Agarwal has answered this. What about others? Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward for your responses, please. Yes, an individual's emotions coupled with the ability to imagine what someone else might be thinking or feeling Mahalakshmi madam has answered Pranita ma'am, sympathy of others. So when you talk about empathy, is it really sympathy? Okay, Sangeeta ma'am said known to unknown. Okay, when it's in understand by Sangeeta ma'am, because it's something the acronym you have given and which is really a good because it talks about your abstract thinking concept has come up. Okay, emotions, understanding other person's feeling. It's about understanding others' feeling. That's what I'm answering, getting the answer. What about others? Yeah, it's about thinking sentiments, thinking the sentiments of other. Shipra has replied. Okay, Shraddha, put yourself into others' place. Okay, what else? Okay. So, thanks for your responses. I got to know because see, because this particular session, we will be trying to understand how to really create an empathetic environment into our classroom, right? And when it comes to empathetic environment, what as a teacher we need to understand so that we can really create a happy classroom. So when we'll talk about creating an emotional intelligence among our students, first of all, as a teacher, how we think, that's very important. Because if as an individual, I'm happy, then only I can make others happy. So for creating an happiness, it is very important. We need to understand the emotional intelligence. As I said, like we people are nowadays dealing with more of the psychological issues rather than the physiological issues because you could see a substantial number of research has talked about nowadays the youth are facing with lots of mental health issues and lots of societal ideations has also been increased. So in that case, it is the prime responsibility of the teacher to really work upon the emotional intelligence of the students. So what actually the emotional intelligence is, that's something we need to understand. So when we talk about the emotional intelligence, what is it is about? It is something which helps, which actually support the individual in building relationship. In building relationship also, in managing emotion relationships also, as well as supporting the relationship. Because when we'll talk about creating an empathetic classroom, a situation where we are building the emotional intelligence among our student, it is all about how effectively I'm able to deal with the emotions of others. And when I am able to deal the emotions of the others, then I need to the relationship. So managing your relationship is something which is very important. So when we'll talk about the domains of intelligence, so what all it is talking about? Let's first hear from you people. When you say emotional intelligence, what all the emotional intelligence comprises of? Because there need to be few dimensions, certain component with which the emotional intelligence comes up. Yes, I'm looking forward for your responses, please. When it comes to emotional intelligence, what do you understand by emotional intelligence? Yes. What is emotional intelligence, please? Disappointments. What disappointments? Sorry, I can't understand. The emotional intelligence is the ability to manage both your emotions, understand the emotion of people around you. There are five key elements to emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Very good reply by Nandita ma'am, because you have comprehensively covered up what is emotional intelligence. Because generally when it comes to emotional intelligence, we understand like emotional intelligence is something which only deals with emotions. But when it comes to dealing with the emotions, there are many elements, there are many dimensions which as a teacher we need to understand. So what all those we need to see. Okay, Sangeeta ma'am, situation both sides. Okay, able to stay in balanced emotional state, able to control their emotions. What else when we'll talk about emotions? Yes. So when we'll talk about controlling our emotion, do you think when we're able to control our emotion, we can really able to handle the relationship? Because nowadays So you see, emotions are something which cannot be controlled also. But when we say able to control our emotion, is it really possible for all of us? Because suppose take an example, we being frustrated from something which is happening in at our home, and later on the moment we enter into our classroom with that thought, okay, there is a fight, there is a conflict at home, and immediately I'm able to take up the class, then would it be possible for me to really control my emotions? That's something we need to understand. Able to fight from disappointment or disability. Okay, able to fight from disappointment and disability. Shipra ma'am, I just want you to rethink upon the reply you have given, because when we'll talk about disability, this is just the one factor which may lead to frustration, but at the same time how well we able to manage our emotion. See, we cannot control our emotions, we can only manage our emotions, because at time so many factors are happening around us, and there are so many situations which may come across us which is beyond our control. But as a teacher, we able to learn how to manage our emotions, then only we can really create an environment into our classroom where we can deal with the emotions of our students effectively. And when it comes to dealing with the emotions of our students effectively, we also need to understand how well we able to manage the behavior of our student, because the behavior management is the something which the teachers need to understand. So let's try to understand when it comes to your emotional intelligence, what it all comprise of. So when it comes to your emotional intelligence, first of all, I request all of you to just close your eyes for a while and then visualize the event that recently occurred at work where you got very emotional. Because right now you have all have replied me, when it comes to your emotional intelligence, you need to control your emotions. You need to deal it effectively. But at times you may come across with lots of situation, lots of events that may happening around you, specifically in your workplace. It may be your staff room with your principal office or at your classroom. But just reflect upon that, and I want all of you to just close your eyes for a while and just think about it, a situation when you felt very felt high emotional state of mind being there, like you being stressed out, or something is being happen where you're not able to manage your emotion. Yes. Okay, so let's a strong feeling or thought. Just let me know the situation when that comes across, because even when you're not able to control your emotions, so you become very emotional that time. Because when they talk about emotional intelligence, we are talking about controlling our emotion. But is it really so easy? Okay, so can any one of you please write down the situation which you have recently come across, which made you very emotional? Yes. Okay, so before turning into what made you emotional, let's try to understand what kind of emotions actually we people are dealing with. Strong feeling or thought due to the colleague statement in front of the whole department, Nandita ma'am. Yes, because sometimes what happened, okay, there is a meeting going on into the class, into the staff room, and suddenly one of the teacher just bursted out or blaming you out. Okay, this thing is happening, the student is not listening, or the student has not achieved, academic achievement is not there. Maybe because of your fault, maybe. What else it could be? Yes. Okay, just let me know what kind of emotions we all are coming across nowadays. Is it only a joy? Is it only a fear? Is it only a sad, a gloomy disappointment? What kind of emotions actually people have to deal with it? When the student answers roughly, yes, Padmaji, yes, it happens because we have certain expectations and we always believe that the student have to behave in a certain manner into the classroom, but according to our expectation or so-called the norms with which the student has to go with it, and the student doesn't behave, then we feel like, yes, this is something which we need to work upon. Okay, these are the certain emotions. Okay, now I request all of you to take a paper and just write it down, the situation that recently has occurred with you, which really made you so emotional that you cannot control that emotions. But before that, just write that emotion in that situation in a sentence, and write down what kind of emotions you people have gone through. First of all, it is very important for us to understand the kind of emotions we people are going through. Yes, sometimes the parents answer so rudely. So when we say that the parent answered rudely, what kind of emotions generally we come across with? Yes. Is it anger? Is it disappointment? What kind of emotions? So I want all of you is to make a table and just write down the situation that come across with you, and then adjacent to that, write down the type of emotions you people come across with. Yes. I want all of you to please do this exercise, and I'm sure you all are doing this. Okay. Now, once you know, like, this is the situation which you people are dealing with, and with this situation, you have certain emotions that comes up in. Now, take the same thing from the student point of view. Because now, as a teacher, first of all, we need to understand our emotion, right? We know, okay, these are the certain situations which come across in my classroom or in my staff room, which led to this particular kind of emotion. Now take this from the student point of view, from the student perspective. When the student misbehave into your classroom, maybe because of certain situation that come across. And from the student perspective, if we'll talk about what kind of situations the students may be facing nowadays. Okay, because now first we need to understand our situation, and from that situation, what kind of emotions it's being emerged. Now I take you from to the student perspective, like from the student when it comes across with, what kind of situation come across with the student which led the students to misbehave into the classroom, and which you think, yes, it need to be managed. Yes, I hope you all understood my question. Yes, I'm looking forward to answers. Blaming to teacher. Okay, so when it comes to blaming to teacher, why this happened, Pranita ma'am, could you please elaborate it? Blaming to teacher for what? Blaming for the teacher for not teaching up to the mark, or blaming the teacher for some kind of low achievement the child come across with? What kind of it situation may come across? Yes. So when it comes to the misbehave, when we'll say that the student is misbehaving into the classroom, and with which the student may come across with different emotion, because if the students may come across with some kind of situation in the classroom which leads to misbehave, or some kind of situation which you need to control with, then as a teacher, what all you need to deal with it. We all understand that the students may misbehave into the classroom due to lots of psychological factor, biological factor, and environmental factor. When it comes to your psychological factor, right, so it may be because the low motivation level of the child, or it may be because of lack of interest, or it may be due to low cognitive ability of the child, or it may be due to low aspirational level of the child. And when it comes to the biological factor may be due to certain kind of we could say disability the child is having, due to which the child may misbehave, or it may be due to the environmental factor. So environmental factor, it may be for example, some like the peer group in the classroom just tease that child. It leads the child to misbehave. So when it comes to the psychological factor, for example, lack of interest or lack of cognitive ability. A maths teacher enters into the classroom, and because the moment the child needs to know, okay, now it's a maths classroom, and the I don't have that ability to solve the questions, and the teacher will ask me to solve that question. Then how will I going to do? So what will be the response of the child? The child may start misbehaving into the classroom, so that it may lead to a situation. Then the teacher may ask the child, okay, you just go out from my classroom. This generally happens. And what will happen? It will actually solve the purpose of the child, because the child will now be escaped from the task with the teacher expected him or her to do into the classroom. So I just want you to show one video. Let's see if it works. So that because and that video helps you to understand actually how to really control the emotions. Just hold on, I'll just show you that video. Mm. Okay, just let me know. So just see this video. Is the voice audible to all of you? You also add the captions.
No, ma'am, the voice is not coming. The audio is not coming.
Okay, I'm sharing that link also with you so that you all can see.
Let's start off on a good note. Thank you. Introduction. My name is Sam. Young people.
Ma'am, my name is Anish. I was a topper last year. Ma'am, my IQ is 145 and I've got double promotion marks. My name is Andy. I like dance. My name is Tishal. I like to play the guitar.
Okay, everyone's done except the last roll number. Zara, where is Zara? I'm going to kill you.
Ma'am, I think the video is not moving. It's freezed. Participants, ma'am is joining back in a minute, so just wait. There must be a technical glitch at her end, so she'll be back in a minute. Okay, so meanwhile, I just want to inform you all that we have a quiz for you, and the quiz is scheduled for today after the final session, that is after 5:30. So do join the next session for the quiz, and you have a chance to grab Amazon vouchers worth up to rupees 25,000. So make sure to join the next session because in that session we will be sharing the quiz link, so it's your chance to win Amazon vouchers worth up to rupees 25,000. So please do not miss. Yeah, the speaker, she is joining just in a minute or two. There was a technical glitch at her end, so that's why she just dropped. So just wait for her. She's joining back in a minute or two.
Mm. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, there is certain network issue which arise. I'm sure. Okay, you able to see my screen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just hold on. I'll just wait for a second. I think there is certain issue with this. I yeah. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible
Yeah,
now.
thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, there's certain broadband issues going on nowadays for a 1 week, so I'm so sorry for that. Okay, I'm sure you all have seen the video at your own end. Have you all seen that? Yes. Could you please write down your response in the chat box? You all have seen? Yes. So this basically video, what kind of message have you all got from this video? Yes. What message have you got from this video, a class of royalty? Because you have seen a situation and you all have come across with this situation every day, especially when you are dealing with the younger kids. And nowadays, the kids' expectation is so high because due to this Google search and all those things which is coming up nowadays, the student get an information in just a click, right? And whatever you are teaching into the classroom, the students already know. So as a teacher, you need to come across with such kind of things into the classroom which actually build, the empathetic environment and develop the interpersonal relationship skills among the students, because the students already have an information with you, but what is required is to help them to deal effectively with the emotions and to develop the 21st century skills among them. And for developing the 21st century skills among them, it is essentially important to develop the emotional intelligence in our students. And that could be happened only if we really build the empathetic skills among them. And I'm sure you all have seen with the new education policy, the national education policy we are dealing with. And national education policy has talked about teaching the students the 21st century skills and making them a global citizen. And that global citizen could be happen only if we really develop the emotional skills among our students. And for that, because now the curriculum is more going with the integrated curriculum. You cannot separately or make all these emotional intelligence skills separate into the classroom, but you need to integrate into the curriculum. For example, if you are a social science teacher, you are a science teacher, you are a maths teacher or a language teacher, you need to really think upon how I can develop the emotional intelligence among our student during my teaching only, so that the students can become a more global citizen and develop the 21st century skills. So as a teacher, when I say that I need to develop the emotional intelligence skills among our students, then think yourself as a subject teacher, as a science teacher, as a maths teacher, how you can really develop it. And for this, I request you all to please go to this Padlet. I'm sharing the link with all of you of the Padlet, and then try to answer this question in the Padlet. As a teacher, how you can really integrate the emotional intelligence skills among your students while you are teaching your subjects. Because now we're talking about the multidisciplinary approach. We are talking about integration of sports, integration of art, integration of the skills into our learning teaching process. So as a teacher, you need to think upon how I can really develop the empathetic skills among our student, so that the students can become a global citizen and develop all these 21st century skills. Yes. So I request all of you to please open up the link of this Padlet and try to answer this. Yes. Have you got the link, please? In the chat box, I have shared the link. What you need to do is you need to just click on the plus button given at the right side and right end of this page, and then try to answer this. Yes. How you can really develop the empathetic and emotional intelligence skills into your student. And yes, when you are developing the emotional intelligence skills among your students, what kind of teaching is being required? Is it really related to the subject only? As a science teacher, how can I develop empathetic skills in my student? As a social science teacher, how can I develop this? So you really need to look upon the integration part, not in isolation. And nowadays, if you have seen that from the classics onwards, you have a 10 days bagless activities also. So during this 10 days bagless activity also, how you can develop this emotional intelligence skills among your student, that you need to look upon. And apart from this, what are all the different type of strategies, the techniques that can be used by you as a teacher, so that you can develop these skills. So the one who able to join the Padlet can write down their response in the Padlet, or the others can write down your response into the chat box. So teaching blend with values is required, very important, because value something nowadays, if you have seen the national education policy, the value education is a cross-cutting themes. So what is the cross-cutting themes mean? Cross-cutting theme means you need not to isolate the human values, the character buildings, or the ethical skills among the students isolately, but you need to integrate it into your teaching. So if I'm teaching a social studies to my student, then how I can really develop the human values among my students, how I can develop the social values among my students, how I can develop the skills among the students, so that the students can become sensitized to the environment. Because if you're dealing with this all this the values into skills by teaching into your teaching learning process, you are actually making your students more empathetic and developing the emotional intelligence skills among your students. Because when we talk about empathetic is what it is, basically how well you able to build an interpersonal relationship, right? And how you can really resolute, or how you can really go with the conflict resolution, because that's something we need to understand. And when it comes to your conflict resolution, it is not only about dealing with the humans, it is also dealing with the environment. Because sustainability, this is something which is very important. As a teacher, we need to look upon, like there are sustainable development goals in which the environmental issues comes upon, the social issues comes upon, the cultural values comes upon, inclusivity, equitability comes upon. So as a teacher, how you can really build upon, and you can really create such kind of environment into your classroom, so that you can allow the students to express their feeling. So for that, what kind of teaching you can use into your classroom? Yes. So being a teacher, how you can really do this? Really looking forward for your response. You just use the plus when help a child by giving conducive environment. Okay, when I talk about conducive environment, what is actually it is all about? How you can really create that conducive environment? Yes. Help a child by giving conducive environment. Okay, that's good. Yes, I'm looking forward for your response in the chat box as well. Discuss topics like kindness, helping others, importance of understanding different perspective, use Hindi proverbs or frame, पर उपकार से बढ़कर कोई धर्म नहीं. Very good. Okay, have you all gone through with the newly developed textbooks which we have now? Like, because with the new education policy, the textbooks has also been changed, right? And in that textbook, it is very much aligned with the national education policy. So try to see those things also into your lesson, how you can develop these skills. Like for example, the storytelling skills. The storytelling is one of the technique which you can teach, which you can use into your classroom. So you can teach the empathetic skills to your students, which can help the students to manage their emotions, which can help them to resolve their conflicts, which can help them to develop the positive mental health. So all these things you need to understand. It's not only about teaching your subject, it is also about integrating all these skills into your teaching learning process. So appreciation, yes, very good example. What else it could be? Discuss what else it could be. Like, let's see an example. Okay, real life and current situation, very good example. Because when we are talking about the real life situation, nowadays national education policy is given emphasis to our Indian culture system, indigenous education, talking about, yeah, like integration of sports. So as a teacher, you need to look upon how I can integrate the indigenous sports into my classroom, so that I can build the empathetic skills. I can help the students to manage their emotions. On the other hand, if you are integrating art into your teaching learning process, how you can help the students, to develop these skills. Because art, what is art? Art is a mean of expression. It is a means of creativity. So as a teacher, how you can do it, we need to understand that also. And when like nowadays we are also talking about the inclusivity concept. So we are talking about socio-economically disadvantaged group, in which the children from the different socio-cultural background, the minority groups, or the children with disabilities are a part of our classroom. So how I can develop the skills among the students, so that the students become more empathetic towards the needs of other children. That is also very important. So as a teacher, you need to look upon whether I'm teaching this emotional intelligence, or I'm developing these skills among the students as in isolation, or in small pockets, or by integrating it into my own teaching learning process. So integration is something which as a teacher you really need to look upon. Yes. So let's look upon the chat box, the reply you all have given. Help the child to access in the world through real life. Very good example. So when we talk about the emotional skills, again, I request all of you to try to look up on the different perspective. For example, how many of you are really using the research as an important technique to develop the empathetic skills among your students? Have you all used the recent research which is happening nowadays, related to emotional skills, related to how we can develop emotional intelligence into our students? Because when we talk about emotional intelligence, it is also about knowing others emotions, knowing one's emotions, and how well we are aware with our environmental issues also. So environmental issues is also one of the important thing which as a teacher you really need to look upon, because we are talking about empathetic, being empathetic. So being empathetic is basically empathetic not only into our relationship, but also empathetic with our environment also. So how we can do this, it's very important. So when we will talk about this being empathetic, we also need to create a treasure trunk of gratitude. So by giving this all these small examples to your students into the classroom, like for example, like you can have an ice breaking activity into your classroom, where you can ask the child to just write down the things which feels you feel gratitude, to your nature, to your family, to your teacher, to your schools, to your peer group. Because if you're going to do this, it will help the students to develop the empathetic skills. And yes, try to give such kind of activities where you can help the child to look upon the optimistic part, because we know we have a two type of mindset. One is the growth mindset, another is a fixed mindset. So to take the child away from the fixed mindset towards the growth mindset, we need to create and give an opportunity to the child, so that the child can look upon what are the different factors or what are the situation where we can be more optimistic. So that optimistic can be helpful if we really being thankful to our environment, thankful to our parents, thankful for our teachers. So all these skills we need to develop by integrating the into our curriculum. And yes, most importantly, like try to have certain kind of exercises into a classroom where you can ask the child, okay, what makes you happy? Because that's something makes the child to understand their emotions. Because we are dealing with the environment where lot of conflicts, lots of things are happening around, which takes our toll. And the days end up with something which we never been expected. So try to look upon the things which makes you happy, list it down, not only the things but also the activities, the people around you. So all these things, if you're going to give to your child, the child will definitely going to develop the emotionally the child will definitely be positive towards the environment, towards the nature, and towards self and others. That's very important. And have you ever given some kind of spotlight activities to your child, so that the child can really get an opportunity to think, to give a pause, and to reflect upon the situation? For example, in your classroom, you have seen there are two students who are fighting with each other. Or in a classroom where the student is not giving attention, or a classroom where the child generally loses temper. So try to give certain kind of spotlight activity where you ask the child to give a pause to your thoughts and visualize upon certain situation in which they become more annoyed, that make them angry, or that make them gloomy, or that make them disappointed. So if you're going to give such kind of situation to the classroom, it will help the child to really look upon it. So you can use the stop strategy, where the child need to manage their emotion. Self regulation of first start with oneself. So self-regulation talks about self-questioning. It talks about self-monitoring your behavior. It talks about self-management also. So you can give such kind of exercise into your classroom, where you can ask the child to stop and breathe, think about the problem, and what kind of problem you people are facing with, and what kind of feeling that comes upon. Okay. And what does everybody need to do, and what are your choices in that situation? So you try to have a situation into the classroom, and ask the child, okay, if suppose such conflict situation arises into the classroom, so then what will be the probable solutions to that? So, and then once you have that probable solutions, try to see what is the best solution for it. So if you give such kind of situation to the classroom, it will help the child to think upon. And yes, like because now we are working on the cooperative and the collaborative thinking skills also, you can give certain kind of exercises to the child which talk about think, pair, and share, in which one kind of situation can be given to the child You can ask the child to think individually first. Okay, like one situation is being given to the child, and then you can ask the child to think individually. For example, like the child is not able to perform well into the exam, right? And then ask the child to think about it individually first, and then the same situation is being given in a group, right? In a group, it can be in a pair also, it can be in a group also. Then you can ask the child, okay, when you think individually, whether that time you able to come up with the solution better, or when you worked in a group or in a pair, then you able to come up with the solutions better. So this way you able to develop the relationship building skills among the students. Okay, so when you're giving such a kind of collaborative exercises to the students, try to think upon what kind of brainstorming exercises can be given, in which more and more collaboration can be happen, or in which more and more group activities can be given in the form of think pair share activity, so that the child may given an opportunity to understand each and everyone. And once they able to understand each other, then they able to understand the emotions of other also, and able to manage it well. So such kind of exercises are really very helpful. So you can ask the child like this question: do you think you learned more about the topic because you discuss as a pair rather than thinking alone, or any advantage over regular group work? So you just think about it. And another example what I always try to give into the classroom is, try to have a mood meter board into your classroom. Have a one wall space where you can have a mood meter into your classroom, and ask the child, okay, let's come up with what emotions you are dealing with today. For you have a 30 students into the classroom, the moment you enter the classroom, okay, let's discuss about the emotions. Okay, like you can call the name of one child and ask, okay, what are you feeling today, student? And just, can you please draw it, what kind of emotions you are dealing with? And the students may come up with that emojis, and then ask the child to paste it, and then have certain few activities in the classroom which can elevate the emotions of the child in a very positive manner. For example, the child may be happy, okay, or you want to have a joyful feeling, the fun feeling in the child, then try to do certain kind of activity in the classroom, and now then ask the child, okay, now what kind of emotions you are feeling now? Are you feeling the same emotions? For example, if the child said, oh ma'am, I'm sad today, now after having an activity, ask the child, okay, now tell me what emotions you have now. Is it, are you still feeling bored? Are you still feeling sad? Are you still feeling scared? Are you still feeling confused? Or you are feeling happy? You are feeling fun, with full with fun? You are energetic? Or such kind of activities, if you're going to have into your classroom, that will really help the child to help the child in building emotions. Yes, positive affirmation also, you can have the positive feeling, because nowadays what is happening nowadays is the childs are feeling with lots of stress. In our days when we were child, we never heard a word of stress. But nowadays, if you ask even a child of 2 or 3 year old, the child may say, oh, I'm feeling so stressed today. Okay, oh, I'm not able to manage my emotion. I don't know why I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling depressed, you know. And I'm sure you all must be dealing with these kind of situation every day. But what is more important is, like, as a teacher, you need to create certain kind of opportunity each and every child, and have a positive affirmation, as you said, Tina ma'am very said, and have a visualization into the classroom. Today is a word meditation day, right? And when it comes to the meditation, the simply it comes into our mind, just close your eye and concentrate on our thoughts. Is it meditation? No. Meditation is something where we need to, being aware about our feeling, being aware to understand the emotions of others. And what is very important is we can control or we can manage our emotions, but not the emotions of others. Controlling emotion, I would not say, because we cannot control our emotion. Controlling our emotion leads to suppressing the emotion, but we need to know how to manage our emotion. A time when happens, okay, for example, I'm feeling sad. Oh, okay, immediately I'm going to elevate my emotions by listening to the music, which I really like about it. Because the listening to the music itself going to change, and help me to manage the emotion. The same kind of technique you as a teacher need to teach to your student. This is how you can really make them feel happy and help them to manage your emotion. And very importantly, when we'll talk about developing the emotional intelligence skills among your student, in which the students also develop the empathetic skills, that is building relationship with other, controlling rather than controlling, managing the emotions with other, rather than working in the pockets or into the compartmentalization, try to integrate into your curriculum, which is very important. And for that, it is very important to create a happy classroom, because creating a happy classroom itself is means that you are helping the child to managing their emotions. And when you as a teacher are happy, first of all, make yourself as a happy. If you are happy, then only you can create an emotion intelligent classroom, and then you can make your students happy. And when the students are becoming happier day by day, they're able to deal with the emotions of others also and develop an empathetic skills. So that is very important. I hope you're able to understand this. So in the end, I just want to conclude, like, creating a supportive and emotionally intelligent classroom with empathy through a higher happy quotient can be a reality. So the only condition is that it has to begin with us, because to be developing an emotional intelligence, it is very important we ourselves first be happy. And if we ourselves be happy, then only we can develop an happy classroom, and we can build an emotional intelligent skills among our students, so that the students can create an environment which are more supportive in nature, and then become a better human first of all, and then we can create such kind of society they can deal with the emotions, and then ultimately they can become a global citizen in an effective way. Thank you so much. Now I'm looking forward for your questions also related to this, so that we can
Participants,
look
if you have
upon.
any questions, then quickly just drop them in the chat box so
Yeah,
that we can take
so just
one
look
or
upon
two
the
questions.
questions. It's the questions we have. Yeah. And you can also give your own observations also on this. Yes. So let's look upon the few questions if you have related to this. And I also urge you all to look upon the national education policy, because now when we talk about any skills that need to be developed among our student, it is important to understand the national education policy, what it talks about. And then we have a lots of 10 bagless days activities also we are talking about holistic development. Yes, the holistic development concept we're talking about panch kosha. I hope you all know about panch kosha also, where we are talking about the five shields of our body, because it starts from your being happier is the ultimate aim. And to be a happier, you need to develop uh, the skills among your students which help them to manage their emotions. Yes. Yes. Looking forward for the questions, please. In case of handling a dispute, if we support the others may get emotional, so how to handle that? The thing that teacher get biased. See, first of all, when it comes to handling the dispute of two students, it is very important to rather than you as a teacher, going to deal with it or handle them, let the student be given an opportunity. And for this, what I always urge is to go with the storytelling situational based question, and have a role play into the classroom. Because when you come across, okay, there is a certain kind of turmoil among two students, you cannot deal directly with them, but yes, you can create such kind of environment in the classroom where you can have certain kind of case studies, you can come up with the situations, and then try to have a group activities with those students. That will really be helpful. So try to create an environment in the classroom where lots of opportunities been given up into the classroom, where the students going to think about it, because certain kind of brainstorming exercises can be given up.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, ma'am. Thank you
Yeah.
for such an engaging and thought-provoking session. And a big thank you to all the participants as well. You have been an incredible audience, bringing great energy and a passion for learning. Before we head off for a short break, here's a quick reminder. We have got an exciting quiz coming up right after the final session today, and the winners will take home Amazon vouchers worth up to rupees 25,000. So get ready, give it your best, and make it count. Also, for participants waiting on their previous certificates, don't worry, you will receive them by next week. The day has just begun and there's more inspiration ahead. Join us at 4:30 p.m. today for our final session. Take a break, recharge, and come back full of energy. See you soon. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, thank you. And thank you, S. Chan, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.